Throughout Prince Philip's funeral, there were intensely personal touches. His cap was placed on a seat, and there was a minute's silence observed in St. George's Chapel in Windsor Castle. Prince Charles and Princess Anne were among the Queen's children and grandchildren who made up the funeral party. According to experts, Prince Charles' body language during the procession spoke volumes. Body language expert Joseph Holscher noted that, quote, Prince Charles could be seen blinking away tears, and although very stoic, he was genuinely affected. Sky News described Prince Philip's funeral as an intimate family affair. Because of the pandemic, only 30 of the Duke of Edinburgh's closest loved ones were allowed to come together to remember him. As his oldest son and heir to the throne, Prince Charles led the funeral procession. Metro noted that from the beginning, the Prince of Wales was visibly emotional, overcome by grief. Body language expert and psychotherapist Jennifer Tomko of Psychology Today echoed this observation. She told the list, Charles took the moment of silence to experience the grief he must be feeling. We saw him tear up with sentimentality. All eyes were on the Queen and royal family as they remembered Prince Philip and said a final farewell on April 17th. The Sun reported that, despite the fact he had to wear a mask, it was clear that the Prince of Wales' eyes were full of emotion at the passing of his father. As the New York Times detailed, Charles and Princess Anne led the somber funeral procession into St. George's Chapel, followed by Princes Edward and Andrew. Once inside, Prince Charles was joined by his wife, Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall. Prince William, Kate Middleton, and Prince Harry were also in attendance, and they all observed pandemic guidelines by sitting separately during the service. Kinsey Schofield, founder of ToDieForDaily.com, a website about the British royal family, observed, Prince Charles looks genuinely heartbroken. While particularly villainized through the crown, Prince Charles does have a reputation for being a sensitive soul, and you are reminded today as he looks absolutely crushed. The Sun reported that once the royals were inside the chapel, Camilla moved closer to Charles as he held back tears. In a deeply moving tribute made to Prince Philip before the funeral on April 10th, The Telegraph reported that Prince Charles said, My dear Papa was a very special person who I think, above all else, would have been amazed by the reaction and the touching things that have been said about him. And from that point of view, we are, my family, deeply grateful for all that. Emotions ran high throughout the ceremony for Prince Philip, which the BBC has reported was watched by 11 million people on the BBC, 2.1 million on ITV, and around 450,000 on Sky. The BBC's live stream recorded 7.5 million global views by Sunday morning. It was an important moment for the royal family. The Daily Express noted that throughout the funeral and upon leaving the chapel, Prince Charles looked to be overcome by his emotions and the day. The publication highlighted a small gesture of his wife, Camilla Parker Bowles, when she placed her hand on top of his in a show of support. People outlined that it's been a very emotional week for the Duke and Duchess of Cornwall. On Thursday, they went to the gardens of Marlborough House in London to have a look at tributes, messages, and gifts that had been left by members of the public in memory of Prince Philip. Charles was emotional as he looked at the hand-decorated messages and artwork, observed to be visibly upset. Following the end of Prince Philip's funeral on Saturday, Kate Middleton was seen taking a moment with Prince Charles, as reported by Metro and the Daily Mail. As the pair left the service, the Duchess of Cambridge was seen consoling her grief-stricken father-in-law, kissing him on the cheek and putting her hand on his shoulder. For a few moments, Middleton is observed chatting with Prince Charles, then walking with her husband and Prince Harry, before each of the royals disappeared out of sight and, in line with pandemic restrictions, went their separate ways.